Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Can you guys hear me? Oh, you're writing on the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. But instead of writing on the chat box, it would be easier for me if you just speak because I have only one computer I'm using right now. So if I have two computers, then I can see the screen on the other computer where I chat and everything. But here, since I'm home, so I don't have other computer with me. Okay, sorry for being online today. From our next class on Friday, we will have again in-person classes. Okay, so bear with me for only one day. And just a reminder is that the last day to drop our classes, drop any class, is tomorrow. So if any of you want to drop any of the classes, then make sure you do it before tomorrow or by tomorrow, actually. After tomorrow, you cannot do that anymore. And we are done with all the chapters for our final exam, except two, chapter 12 and 13. So once we are done with chapter 12 and 13, then we are going to have our third exam. And then we have our final exam. Oh, Angel, you are here. Didn't you see my email?
Wait, which email?
I sent you an email last night. You didn't even check that?
I only received the online class email.
So the email we have in our Brightspace is your CUNY email. So don't you use CUNY email?
I only used the Baruch email.
Exact. So if we send anything to your CUNY email, we're supposed to receive that in your Baruch email.
Mm-hmm.
You did not receive that?
I only is it about the second exam?
Yeah, I sent you an email in your, it says Angel and then your last name, and then I forgot the number,
So
and then
I only
cuny.login.edu.
received, if it's the exam 2 grade and dropping date, I got that, but I didn't get
How come
anything
you
else.
got that,
And
but
I
you
also
didn't
got
get the
the
other
online
one?
class today. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Wow.
Just send it to me again on
No, you
Baruch
send me
email. Just do it
you
through
send
Baruch.
me an email from whatever email you check, okay? Send me an
Oh,
email
okay,
from
okay,
your email and then I will respond to that.
okay, okay.
Okay, great. So before we start our lecture, does anybody have any question, comments, concern, complaint, anything? Did you post the pre-lecture notes? I did not because I forgot that I didn't modify chapter 12 yet. I thought I did everything before the semester began, but now I see that I don't have it. So I'm actually using my last year's notes. So once I fix everything, then I'm going to post that on Brightspace. Our next exam date will be beginning of December 2nd or something, if I remember correctly. Oh no, December 2nd is Monday. So it will be either December 3 or December 6, something like that. Most likely December 3, because I have to grade the exam before our last day. Plus, I want to have at least 3 review days. Okay. So chapter 12, the materials are getting harder. But as long as you ask me question during lecture whenever you don't understand, you will able to handle them well without any problem. Okay. So composite function. So all this time we worked with function addition, function multiplication, function division, And now we are doing a new concept. It's called composite. Composite means you're putting one function inside another function. So the things you have on the left page is the basic function rules. When we add two functions, when we subtract, multiply, divide, what do we get back? So I'm going to skip actually these examples because these are just basic ones. The important one is composite function. So we place one function inside another function, and it's called composite function. So you can think of it as we have a function, the name is h of x, and h of x we get by placing g function inside f function. So we have two functions, one is f, one is g. If you place one function inside another one, you're receiving a composite function. So in this example, what happens? What? In this example, we are placing, give me 1 second, my screen is bugging. Okay. So our f function is square root of x here, and our g function is x squared plus 1. We are placing f function inside g. Sorry, the other way around. We are putting g function inside f. That means this whole function you are putting inside the square root where you see the x in the f function. So it's like we have two machines. In the first machine, which is a g function, we place f and then we get g of x. And g of x is x squared plus 1. Now this function we are placing inside the f function. So our original f function was square root of x. Now when you replace the g instead of x here, this x becomes g of x. But what is g of x? It's x squared plus 1. So we get back square root of x squared plus 1. Let's do some example. The first one says we have f function negative x squared plus 1, and our g function is 2x minus 2. And it says find log of x, which is same as f of g of x. So this is a shortcut version of the composition, and this is what it means if you see the shortcut version. So anytime whatever we have inside, you're placing this function in the outside function. So you start with the outside function. Our outside function is f, and it's x squared with a negative sign plus 1. Now, when we replace this x with the g function, our g function is 2x minus 2. That means instead of negative x squared plus 1, we are going to write negative 2x minus 2 whole thing squared plus 1. So we replaced the g inside f function. And it didn't tell us to simplify, so we can actually stop here. If it says do the composition and then simplify, then you're gonna distribute you're gonna use the FOIL to distribute the power and then add 1. But here, it's simple, we don't have to do anything. Any questions so far? Any question from anyone? No? Okay. Next part says do the opposite. Do GOF of x. GOF of x, it means now you're placing g function inside the f function. Sorry, the other way around. What I'm saying. Now we are placing f function inside the g function. Whatever function is inside, we place that in the outer function. So outer function is g. That means we start with our g function. G of x. Let me see my screen. I don't. Give me 1 second. So a g function is 2x minus 2. Ah, but instead of 2x minus 2, now that x will change because we are placing f function inside. And our f function is negative x squared plus 1. So this x will not be x anymore. It will be this whole thing. In other words, 2x minus 1 will not be, so 2x minus 2 will not be 2x minus 2 any longer. It will be 2 minus 2 is okay, but instead of x, it will become the f function, negative x squared plus 1. We replace the x with whole entire g function, f functions. And here we can simplify. It's doable. So we go ahead and simplify. We distribute the 2. So we get negative 2x squared plus 2. We still have our extra 2. So 2 cancel out. Our answer is negative 2x squared. So we can do it in any direction. We can place f inside g, or we can put g inside f. And we're supposed to get 2 different answers. Sometimes we get same answer, but mostly we get 2 different answers. Stephanie.
So we don't have to simplify further?
We cannot simplify anymore. It's negative 2x squared. It's only one term.
Okay.
You can't do anything. But in the exam, they will actually ask you, find this and simplify. Okay, go ahead for the next one. Next one is easy. We have f function is absolute value of x, and g function is 6x minus 8. And it's supposed to find both of them, f of g and also g of f. I'll give you 2 minutes because this is easy. We have nothing to simplify here. So once you replace, you are done. Let me know if you have any question. So in the first one, our g is inside. So you're putting g in the f function. In the second one, f is inside. So you're putting f in the g function. So you always start with the outer function. In here, our outer function is f of x. In here, our outer function is g of x. The f of x is square absolute value of x, and g of x is 6x minus 8. And then we are finding whatever they want us to find. Ready? Okay, Joel, help me with the first one. A. What do we have for f of g of x? Stephanie, do you want to do B?
Yeah, I got, is it 6x minus 8 absolute power?
So x.
So it would be f of 6 minus 8.
F
6x.
Are you talking about B or A?
A.
Okay. So you have f of 6x minus 8.
Yeah.
And we place it inside the absolute value.
Yeah.
Great. And you have nothing to do anymore. So this is done. Let me turn up my volume. Okay. Angie also has the same thing. Joe also has the same thing. Perfect. How about B? What do we have for B? We are placing F inside G. Good job, Tenzin. Our F function is a single thing, absolute value of x. So we are placing absolute value of x for all the x we see in the G function. So 6 absolute value of x minus 8. And this becomes 6 absolute value of x minus 8. And still we have nothing else to do. We cannot combine them any longer. So we leave them alone. Any questions so far about anything? No. Great. So now we know how do we place one function inside another function. And now they want us to do one more step further. Once you replace, they want you to replace all the x with a number and see what number you get from the composition. So in order to find that, we have two ways of solving them. One is exactly what we did with the last two questions. Do that first, get the composite function, and then replace x with the number. Or we simply replace the number from the beginning, and then we work with the number. So I'm going to show you both. Whichever is easier, you can stick with that. So here they're telling us that our f function is x squared plus 5x, and our g function is 2x plus 2. They want us to find both of them, f of g of 2 and also g of f of 2. So if we want to stick with the first method, then we can find what is f of g of x first, and then we are going to replace x with 2. Same thing, we can find g of f of x first, and then whatever answer we get, we're going to replace all the x's with 2. So let's do this first, and then I'm going to show you the second shortcut method. So in here, they want us to replace g inside f. That means we write down our f function first. Our f function is x squared plus 5x. And now we are replacing g inside the f. Our g is 2x plus 2. So we are not going to write x any longer. All the x will turn into 2x plus 2. So our structure will be same. It's the first term square plus 5 times the second term. But instead of x, it will become 2x plus 2. So this x will no longer be x, it's 2x plus 2. Same thing, this x is no longer x, it's 2x plus 2. That's because we replaced the g function inside the f function. So we have 2x plus 2 square. And if you want, we can distribute that. We get 10x plus 10. We can also use the FOIL and then simplify more. But in here, they didn't ask us to simplify. They want us to find what is f of g of 2. It means every x you see in the composite function, replace those with the number 2 and then simplify. So it's up to you whether you want to simplify now and then replace, or you can replace and then simplify. So we get 2 times 2 plus 2 square plus 10 times 2 plus 10. So 2 times 2 is 4 plus 2 square. We get 20 plus 10. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 square is 36. So we have 36, and from here we get 30. That gives us 66. Any questions so far? No. We can do the same thing for the other function. We are replacing f inside g. So we start by writing the structure of the g function. Our g function is 2x plus 2. Why did you replace x with 2 again? Because look at the question. It says, find f of g of 2. So this is what they want us to find, f of g of 2. It means every x you see, replace all those x's in the composite function with the number 2. So composite function has 2 x's, one x here, another x there. So we replace twice. Yes, I'm going to show you that method after showing you the composite method. So in the final exam, sometimes they want you to find the composite functions, and sometimes they said find the composite function at a number, okay, at a point. So I'm not sure which one they're gonna ask you, but definitely there will be one question in the final exam about composite function. So that's I'm showing you how to find the composite function and then find the number. And I'm gonna show you also the shortcut. So for the other one, g of x, let me see the question, the same thing. G of x, our goal is to find g of f of 2. So we start by replacing f function inside g. So our f function is x squared plus 5x. That means instead of writing this x, we are going to write this whole thing in the g function. So it's 2 times x squared plus 5x. And then we have the extra 2. So we get 2x squared plus 10x plus 2. This is the composite function, g of f of x. Now they want us to find g of f of 2. It means every x you see in the composite function, replace all of them by the number 2. So it's 2x squared plus 10x plus 2. But there will be no more x's because we're going to replace all of them by 2. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 10 times 2 is 20 plus 2. That gives us 30. So you see, two different composite function gives us two different numbers. So this is the longer method. If they want you to find, like, for example, A, find the composite function, and then B, evaluate the composite function. That's what you do. Dua, question?
Not really a question, but to clarify. So first you plug in, for the first one, you plug in gx into f. Once you get that answer, you're gonna substitute every x with 2, and that's the final answer.
Yes.
And then you do the same with plug f into g, get that answer. Okay.
Because they want you to do two questions, A and B.
So the final answer would be 66 and 30, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So these are the longer way. The shortcut says, well, we don't want to get the composite function because it takes time. Instead, we can simply replace the number in the original function and work with the function. So on the left page, I'm doing it again. Find f of g of 2. Since we have g of 2 inside, we can simply find what is g of 2. And then the result we can replace into the f function. So g of x is 2x plus 2. And if you want to find g of 2, it's 2 times 2 plus 2. That gives us 4 plus 2, which is 6. So this inside g of 2 is nothing but the number 6. So we can replace g of 2 by 6. And now this is easy. It says go to f function and replace it x with 6. So you go to the f function. Our f function is x squared plus 5x. If we replace x with 5, x with 6, we get the original structure same, but the x we have in the f function, they will turn into 6. So we have 36 and 30, that gives us 66, which is same as the number we have on the right page. So I have shown you two methods. One is just work with the numbers. You don't have to find composite function. If the question says only find this f of g of a number or g of f of a number, if that is the only question they ask you, this is the easiest method. But sometimes they ask, their question have two parts. For example, in my exam, I'm going to give two parts. In first part, I'm going to ask you find what is f of g of x or g of f of x. This part A. And part B will be find f of g of a number or g of f of a number. So you have to do both. What are the final answers for the example? For A, your answer is 66. For B, your answer is what do I have here? 30. So this answer is 66 and this answer is 30. Dua, do you still have a question or your hand is raised from before?
No, you answered it from before. Oh, sorry, my hand is still up.
So in the final exam, mostly they ask about the number. Find f of g of a number or find g of f of a number. So if they only give you the number, you can use the shortcut, work with the number. But in my exam, I'm not going to ask you only about the number. I'm going to ask you two parts. One is the number with the number, and one is find the actual composite function. Questions so far? Any question? No? Then go ahead, you find the next one. It says, well, just find f of g of 1. So they did not ask for the composite function. They want it to evaluate the composite function. So you're allowed to shortcut here. Let me know if you bump into a problem. Eleven, probably. Oh, Nazima also got 11. Great. So Anji, Nazima, Dua, wonderful. How about Stephanie? Are you done or you're still doing it? Do you guys need more time or do you want to go over the question? Go over. Okay, who would like to do step 1? How are you gonna start? What you're gonna find first? Any suggestion from anyone? Good job. We start with the inside. Whatever we have inside, you always find that first. So they told us our g of x is x plus 1. So if we want to find g of 1, we just replace x with 1. So this x becomes 1, and that gives us 4. That means the f of g of 1 becomes f of 4. So g of 1 is 4. This is not 11, this is parentheses. So what we do is we go to the f function and we replace every x we see in f with 4. So original f function is x squared minus 2 times x plus 3. That's the original f function. But this time we are replacing all the x with 4. So we get 4 squared 16, 2 times 4, 8. 16 minus 8 is 8. So we get 11. Perfect. Any question from anyone? Okay, any question? No question from anyone? So in the final exam, we'll have at least one of these. It's a guarantee, okay? One question will be given from 12.1 in the final exam. try the next one. And here they actually want you to find all three. Find the composite function, both ways, forward or backward, and then find f of g of 4. So find f of g of x, f of g of 4, and then find g of f of x. Will we be allowed to use a calculator for this type of question? Nope. These are easy questions, so calculator will not be ever. You will not be allowed to use a calculator for this type of question. I'm going to tell you during lecture which type of question comes in the calculator question. One type is the word problem from quadratic. The questions you went over last class. So in the calculator portion, you will have one of those. Maximum, minimum, or the y value will be given, and to find the x values, x-intercepts. So that is one calculator question. For this, no, but next for another type, I'm going to tell you which one. So like I said, chapter 12 is easier if you understand from the beginning. But it will seem hard if you get stuck from the beginning and don't clear things up. That's what I'm telling you. Anytime you don't understand anything, ask me a question, I'll help you. Are you guys ready? F of g of x, g of f of x, and then find f of g of 4. Or if you want, you can find f of g of x first and then f of g of 4. And then you can find g of f of x. The order doesn't matter. You can do them in any order. Angel, don't forget to send me the email. Okay. Okay, Angel. Once I check it, I'll reply to you. So Tenzin got this is 3. Dua got this is square root of 2x plus 1. And how about B? Okay, so 2 square root of x plus 1. Wonderful. Let's see. So start with A. It says we are looking for, we get plus minus 3 if you're solving for x. So in here, are you solving for x? If not, then you're not going to get plus minus. Actually, we're not solving here. We are replacing x. So when you replace x with a number, we don't get plus minus. We get plus minus only when we solve a variable. So it says find f of g of x. It means we are going to place g inside the f. So we start by writing f function. Our f function is square root of x. So f of g of x, we are going to replace this x with the entire g function, which is 2x plus 1. That means under the square root, there will be no more x. This x become the entire 2x plus 1. So, yep, A is correct, square root of 2x plus 1. And I would like to do C next, because I don't have to do any math. It says find f of g of 4. So we already found that this thing is f of g of x. So f of g of 4 means the x you see in your f of g of x function, replace that with 4. So let me actually do it in 2 lines. Our f of g of x we found is 2x plus 1. And now if you want to find f of g of 4, this x turn into a 4. So it's 2 times 4 plus 1. That gives us 8 plus 1 under the square root, which is square root of 9. That is 3, just as the answer we have here. So yep, our A is perfect, our C is perfect. Now checking B, it says replace f function inside the g function. So we start by writing what is g function. G function is 2x plus 1. So g of f, our f function is square root of x. That means instead of 2x plus 1, we are not going to write 2x plus 1. We are going to write 2 square root of x plus 1, which is same as what we have here. 2 square root of x plus 1. So you see, sometimes they ask for the composition, also the number itself, and sometimes they just ask for the number. What is, evaluate your composite function with some numbers. Yep, say Srinazima. Is it clear how do you work with composite function? So it doesn't matter how many functions they give you. All you have to do is you always replace the inner function into the outer function. For example, they may give you mini function f of g of h of j of x. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many functions they give you. The idea is whatever you have inside, you always replace that into the outer function. And then by replacing whatever you have here, you replace that into the next outer function. So whatever result you get from this replacement, you place it inside the next level outer function. So you always start at the inside, you keep replacing it outside, 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 and then whatever you get at the end, that's the final answer. Okay, so all these examples we did, we work with only 2 functions. But in the homework, I think they give you one question with 3 functions. But it doesn't matter how many functions they give you. You always start with the inner function, the inside one. Let's see what do you have next. Interesting questions. Instead of giving us functions, they gave us 2 graphs of the functions. And they want us to do the same thing. Find what is f of g of 2. And the first function is the f function. The second function is the g function. So this is our f function, this is our g function. And they want us to find f of g of 2. Who has some idea? Oh, Tenzin already got the answer. Wonderful. But I'm not sure whether the answer is correct or not. Tenzin, would you like to share what did you do? How did you get 7? How did you start your function? Wonderful. You started with g of 2. So you go to the g graph and see when our x is 2, what is the y value in the g graph? So x is 2 here, our y is here, which is 5. That means this whole quantity, g of 2, is simply the number 5. So we rewrite this as f of 5. Now f of 5, it means in the f function, when x is 5, what is y in f graph? So in the f graph, this is our 5. So our y value is here, and this y value is 7. And your answer is correct. The answer is 7. So we started with the inner function. Whatever we got, we replace that into the outer function. Who is confused? Anyone? If you want me to write this neatly, this is actually what we should write. I wrote all these things, little things for explanation, but the real solution should be this way. F of g of 2 is same as f of 5, and f of 5 is same as 7. So that's how you should write it. And the explanation is here. X is 2, y is 5 in G. And for the other one, in F, X is 5, Y is 7. And that's the answer. Oh, what happened to my next question? Let me write. Next comes decomposition, my favorite thing. So composition means you're placing one function inside another one. Decomposition means, well, the composition is given. Figure out which function is inside which function. Decompose. Compose is already given. Decompose them now. So in this example, they are saying that our h of x is f of, oops, I should change my color. H of x is f of g of x. It means our g function is inside and our outer function is f function. So the composition, the final result is square root of 2x squared minus 6. In this function, what is the g function and what is the f function? Can you figure this out? Any? Great. You guys are correct. How about G function? What is the G function? Wonderful. So G function is the inner function. And F function is the outer function. So even though you don't see the outer function clearly, but you can see clearly the inner function. Which function is sitting inside? It's clearly visible here. This is sitting inside. So inner function is 2x squared minus 6. Now to figure out what is outer function, you replace the inner function with x and you keep exact same thing whatever is given in the composition. So in the composition, we have a square root. And our inner function, we change the inner function with x. So our f function is simply square root of x. That's how the composition, when g goes inside f, it becomes 2x squared minus 6. That's the composite function. These are the two functions they're asking us. And I love this, so I'm going to ask a few of these in the exam. Because you don't need to do any math here. It's simple, fun question. Let's do one more. Oh, what happened to my next page? Let me... Go ahead, try the next one. We are given f function is this, g function is this, and h function is this. Now this time they actually told us what is f and what is g. Your job is to figure out what is h. Is it f of g or g of f? Which one? So what is h of x? F of g of x or g of f of x? Nozima voted for g of f. Anyone else? Tenzin agrees. Angie agrees. Dua also has the same thing. Joe has the same thing. So in other words, all of you agree that Stephanie also agrees that it's g of f. So let me verify. G of f, it means we are replacing f inside this g function. So g of f is 5 times entire f function, x squared minus 3. Right? You said g of f. Right, guys? Let me scroll up. You said g of f. Yeah. It means you're placing f inside g. So if you put f inside g, your g function is 5x. So your f of g is 5x squared minus 15. F So it's not G of F. You cannot place F inside G. So if you do the other way around, you put G inside F. So F of G. It means let me change the ink this time. Green. It means you're putting G function inside your F function. So your F function is x squared minus 3, and your G function goes inside the F, so it's 5x squared minus 3. So it's 25x squared minus 3. So yep, the answer is actually F of G, not G of F. And I was so sure that all of you got it correct. You see, in math, majority doesn't count. Just because majority people got the same answer, it doesn't make correct automatically. Majority doesn't work. It was fun, right? Doing the decomposition. Let's see one more. We are given only the G function. Yeah, Nazima, you started that. The next one says G function is given and the composite function is given. Then what is F function? So h of x is f of g of x. They already told us what is g of x. It's x plus 4. The question is, what is f function then? What is f of x? Yep. This time you guys are correct. It's x to the 6. So we replace this here. And if this is g, and if you replace g with x, whatever remains, that's the f function. So it remains with the 6th power. And our g function becomes an x, so you get x to the 6. In the exam, I'm not going to give you f and g function. I'm going to give you the composite function and ask you, find what are f and g. Okay? It will be fun. Like this one. The composite is given, and they told you what is the composition. It's g inside f. So figure out what is g and what is f. So what's the z function here and what's the f function here? And this composition is g inside f. Decomposition doesn't have one answer. Depending on your point of view, you may get different answers. So from Tenzin's point of view, g is x minus 4 and f should be square root of x plus 6. This is clearly visible to us. Anyone else say it differently? No. Well, if you want to see it differently, a different version. Well, I can say my g function is square root of x minus 4. If I say that, then my f function will be x plus 6. See, this is not wrong, this is just a different version. So decomposition doesn't have one answer, but composition does have one answer. Decomposition has many versions depending on how you look at it. But this one is the most visible one. Okay, one more. Oh, now you're going back to composition again. We have f function, g function, find f of g of -1. So in the exam, I'm going to give you two composite function. One is something like this, why you're going to replace x with number. Another one is find the composite function that itself. And for decomposition, a couple, probably 2, 3, 4. The more I give you, the better it will be for you. You're going to get points without doing any math. Let me know if you want me to take a question or if you're done with the next question. F is given, G is given, find f of g of -1. The whole day I'm so sleepy. Oh, this time Gavin wins. He got 15. Let me know anyone else got anything else. Okay, so Dua, Joel, they all agree. Anybody get something different? You just seen, right? That majority doesn't mean answer is correct. So if you have something different, don't be shy. Stephanie, how come you're so quiet today? Nazima 17.
My head hurts.
Huh?
My head hurts.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Is it because
Yeah,
of the
it's okay.
online or you're sick? Which one?
No, it's because my head hurts today. It's good. I'm understanding it though, but I'm gonna go over it with the homework.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
We have 24. Anything else? No. Nazima, start with you. What was your first step? Yep, I got you 24 times in. Go ahead, Nazima.
So are you hearing me? I just wanted to check that this.
So what did you do first?
So first I put fx on g into fx.
So you put
F
G
parentheses gx equals to x squared plus 2x.
x squared plus 2x.
And then for gx I put 2x plus 5. And then on the other side, yes.
So you did 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5.
And then I put a -1 for x, for all x's.
Okay, so x is -1. So -1 here, -1 there. We have 2 times -1 plus 5 squared plus 2 times -1 plus 5.
Yes.
And then what did you do? How did you
And then I
simplify
just
them.
solved. I
So
just
you did
solved
this
them.
first, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Negative
also
2
you did
plus
this
5.
first.
Yes.
So we have -2 plus 5 square 2 times -2 plus 5. So what is
Oh, I
-2
think I did a
plus 5?
mistake. I did a mistake, but we're going back.
So you
So my
already seen
answer
your mistake,
17 is
right?
wrong. Yes, 17 is wrong. So on the first, we're getting 3 square.
It's positive 3 because the 5 is bigger.
Yes.
So positive 3
It should
square.
be plus 2 positive 3.
Uh-huh.
And then we're getting 9 plus 6, so 15 is correct.
Uh-huh. So yep, it is 15. But let me also show you the shortcut method where you may not make the same mistake. So let me insert a page here. So we are going to do g of x, which is 2x plus 5. We are going to find what is g of -1, because that's the inside function we have. It becomes 2 times -1 plus 5, which is -2 plus 5. That gives us 3. That means f of x said it's x squared plus 2x, and they want us to find f of g of -1. This g of -1 is the number 3. So we write simply f of 3. We are looking for what is f of 3. So this function becomes 3 squared plus 2 times 3, which is 9 plus 6, which is 15. Let me read you guys a chat. Not 4 in my head when I did -4. Oh, so that's how you have different settings in. You guys are having fun here, I can see. Any question from anyone? Any comments? Any concern? Not yet. Okay, so we
Professor,
did composition. Huh?
I just wanted to comment that on the homework, it does give you 100%, even if you open it after the due date.
It still didn't give you 100%.
No, it does give you 100%.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah, it is. I
Previously, it
was so happy.
didn't. Wow,
Yeah.
great. So I set up new due dates for the rest of the homework. And the
Yeah, so
last day to submit any homework will be December something,
14.
11 or something, right?
Yeah, 14.
11 or 8 something, I forgot. So make sure whatever homework you have is submit everything before 11, December 11. After that, our last day of classes, I think 11 or something, I don't know. After that, you can't do anything else. Can you also do the quizzes after the due dates? I believe you can, because I told my math lab that allow you to change your grades even after due dates. But my math lab is so weird. Sometimes it listens to my order, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't even know when it does and when it doesn't. I have no idea. Yes, you can do the homework and quizzes still after the deadline.
So for the shortcut method, we could just find one of the x's first, like the whole thing, and then substitute it into the second function.
Are you talking about the left page or the right page? Or in general?
The left page. The left page.
Right. In the left page, you always start with the inside function. You
Okay.
replace the number in the inside function.
Okay.
Whatever function is the most inside, the innermost function, you replace in that one. And then whatever number you get, you replace it in the outer function.
Thank you.
I need to talk to you after this Zoom, maybe possible. Hold on. Okay. Okay, then no problem. We have one more exam before the final. ES3. One more exam, which will be around December 2nd. And then I forgot to tell you guys. I just remembered. So our final exam is on December 8 December, this is November, December 17. Okay. Final is December 17. And previously I thought it's around 1, but actually no, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. So December 17, it's a Tuesday and it's 8 a.m. Yep. I thought it's in the middle of the day, but they said no, all 10:30 have the same schedule. They're going to take class at 8 a.m. in the morning. And all the class, the lecture, if they have after 6 p.m., then their final exam will be around 6 p.m. Since our class is before 6 p.m., so our final exam must be at 8 a.m. So yep, I'm going to have a big lecture room, a big lecture hall where I will have my morning class and you guys together. And one more thing. So you guys are worried about 2003 that you could not sign up for any 2003 classes. So I told the department about that and they said, well, you don't have to do 2003. If your major is math or computer science or some other major, science or other major, then 2003 is not for you. You should sign up for 2001. And 2001 has many available sections. Tenzin, 8 a.m. is, I didn't choose that, okay? So I cannot grant you a cheat sheet. It's the department who did that.
Professor, where is the lecture hall gonna be with both classes
They're
together?
going to let us know before the final. I
Okay.
don't have the location yet. But once I know, I'll tell you. But for now, just know that it's a Tuesday, December 17, early 8 a.m. in the morning. And if you are looking for PQ class next semester, then instead of 2003, you're allowed to take 2001. Good news about 2001 is that 2001, half of the 2001 materials is 1030. So whatever we are going to do in chapter 10, so chapter 12, this is the first half of 2001. And the second half of the 2001 is trigonometry. So this is first half is 1030, second half is trigonometry. And for 2003 and 2009, first half is pre-calculus and second half is calculus. So they believe 2001 is much easier than 2003 or 2009. You had to take 2003. Are you sure, Angel? You can talk to a counselor about that. The final exam, I will be the main proctor, but there will be other instructors, they will come and go. And once they come, they actually check everyone's watch and everyone's desk. For finance major, you have to take 2003. I didn't know that. I'll ask that to the department. How long is the lecture for 2001? 1 hour, 40 minutes. I talking about final exam. Oh no, there will not be a big lecture in lecture hall. I said our final exam will be a big lecture hall, will be in a big lecture hall because I'm teaching same class twice. So 2 of my sections, they will combine in the final exam. And you'll have the exam in there. And big doesn't mean it's a huge room. It's relatively bigger than our room. I think. Don't be afraid. As long as you study all the questions I tell you to study, you'll be ready for the final. Plus, my plan is to go by at least 3 days for the final. So I'll tell you everything, whatever will come in the final exam. Actually, not everything. Since I don't make the final exam, so I don't. I cannot give you the 100%. Okay, so decomposition again, right? Yeah. Oh, and then you'll be done in chapter 12.1. So after decomposition, we are going to leave actually today. And I'm going to start with inverse function in our next class on Friday. Decomposition, one more decomposition. H function is f of g. Then what is g and what is f? Oh, I didn't read the chat. Let me read the chat. What did Nazima say? Uh, We don't want different or composite. Going to the slide. Seven source. Tenzin, you are not actually allowed to have any cheat sheets, but you can remember them. And when you get the thinking exam, write them quickly in front of the exam, and then you will not forget. So you guys are saying g is x squared plus x minus 4. That leaves you with the function square root of x and then 6. Yep. This is the most visible one. But there are also other choices. So with this, we are done with section 12.1. We did composition and decomposition. And I already set up the due date for this homework and quiz. Quiz will be, I think, based on section 12.1 and 12.2. I'm not sure. But go ahead, start doing the homework. And in our next class, which will be in person, we will do inverse function, which is not bad, which is kind of easier.
Wait,
Well,
you
if
said
you don't
quiz?
understand, it's bad.
You
Oh,
said we're gonna have a quiz?
quiz. Now talking about the MyMathLab quiz. I'm not going to give you in class quiz this week.
Okay, good. Thank
I'm
you.
going to give you in class quiz from next week. Okay. No problem, Gerald. We're also going to leave now. So thank you everyone for being here. And I didn't take the attendance today. Oh well, it's online, so never mind. You guys are already here, so I'm happy for you guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Start doing the homework. And if you have any question, feel free to email me anytime. But try to email me in my Gmail instead of in my Baruch mail. Thank you guys.